welcome to the Infinite Rabbit Hole lunch break. I am down here in my studio in sunny, warm Menominee, Wisconsin. It is a high of 36 degrees today, and in 2 days we'll have a high of -4. So that's good. Yeah. Skeeter, hey, what's up, Skeeter? How you doing, man? Thanks for coming in. Thanks for checking it out. Let's see here. Welcome to Wisconsin. Yes. All right. Big stuff. Big stuff. Let me, I got one other person that said that they wanted to know when I was live. Let me just let them know and we'll get moving. All right. Let's see. All right. So lots of big news going on with UFO disclosure starting tomorrow. Is it going to be something tangible? Fingers crossed that it is. Whether it is or it isn't, we're still going to talk about it. I want to believe, right? I'm a fanboy of all this stuff, and I get excited when this stuff pops up, and I want disclosure to happen. I want this stuff. What I don't want, though, is the lies and the deceit that a lot of people are predicting with it, and what we'll talk about here in a little bit in the form of Project Bluebeam. But there's multiple events that are currently taking place that is quite important for this upcoming weekend. Now, we all know that Monday, January 20th, we have the initiation ceremony of President Trump. And from what I understand, a lot of this stuff is coming out because of that. They want to get it out now. They want to get it out immediately beforehand to make as big of a splash as they can to gain the attention of the oncoming administration so that they can take this seriously. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into what is actually going on. The first thing that we need to talk about is what's going on tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, News Nation is airing an interview with United States Air Force veteran helicopter pilot Jake Barber, who will be sharing a video of one of his many missions of UFO recoveries while he was active duty. Barber spent the better part of his career recovering downed aircraft, some of which he strongly believes to be of non-human origin. Barber also claims to have been an unknowing member of a few missions of a secret UFO retrieval program. The interview, which will be titled Hunting UFOs, the Crash Retrieval Whistleblower, will be aired tomorrow, Saturday, January 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on News Nation as what they are calling a TV special with well-regarded, at least to the public, reporter Ross Coulthart. Now, there has been a multitude of people talking about this interview all over social media, and News Nation has responded to multiple inquiries and has answered many questions about the interview, many of which have been asked. Are we going to see Barber's personal video in its entirety? In which representatives of News Nation have answered multiple times that the parts of interest to the public about the subject will be seen in full. Barber has even come out to explain that the object we will see is egg-shaped and has no visible means of propulsion at all. Now, in connection with Barber, we have Luis Elizondo. Now, he has also stepped forward again in support of Barber and his footage. It will leave everyone scratching their heads, is what he says, and realizing that there is more to all of this than what is believed by most of the population. Elizondo made waves as a whistleblower himself, as he used to be the head of the government UAP research group known as ATIP, or the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. Since coming forward and presenting live in a congressional hearing, Elizondo has published a book titled Imminent, that outlines the Pentagon's search for the truth behind the phenomenon of UAPs. This is his book, for those of you that are live right now. Just got this book in a little while ago. I am looking forward to diving into it. As you guys know, I read a lot of books, and I'm behind the curve right now when it comes to Elizondo's book. It's been out for a little while now. Since coming forward and presenting live in a congressional hearing, Elizondo has published a book. Oh, I think we've already talked about that. Imminent. Elizondo's ATIP was responsible for determining the national defense and military flight threat level that UAPs were causing through thorough reports filled out by military pilots whenever they encountered these strange objects during their flights. This was huge in the initial steps towards disclosure of UFO activity on behalf of the government, as there was never been an official way for military pilots to report their encounters, which destigmatized the conversation around the topic. Elizondo has recently talked on a handful of podcasts to help spread the word and express his hope that the oncoming administration will take this perceived threat seriously. Now, in addition to Barber, we are being told that there are additionally 3 more military and veteran whistleblowers that will be a part of this event on News Nation, each with their own stories and evidence to share. So, with that being said, I was active duty while this ATIP was releasing these documents for military pilots to fill out. I've seen these reports. This is a thing. Okay. I remember when I joined the military, as just in case you guys are brand new to this podcast, myself and Jake, we met in the Navy. We worked aviation. We were maintainers, both enlisted. I was an aviation electrician's mate. He spent time as a power plant or mechanic, and also an avionics tech. And I've had multiple conversations with multiple pilots on multiple different type model series, including the E2D and the H-60 Sierra, about UFOs. I've had multiple private conversations with pilots about this stuff. A lot of them very hesitant to talk about, but I can say is that a vast majority of them have seen something. Now, when the government came out and notified active duty service members that there were now going to be official reports to fill out whenever one of these UAPs were discovered during a flight, especially if they were interacting with the military aircraft or the pilot in any way, that we were to gather information and fill out the report the best we can. Now, of course, I'm not a pilot. I never actually filled one out, but I did talk to pilots after they filled them out. I talked to pilots mostly from the H-60 Sierras, which are helicopters, but I've also talked to pilots from the MH-53s, which are helicopters as well. These are much bigger helicopters, more or less cargo helicopters, which can be outfitted with weaponry as well. This was a good thing. Like I said in my little spiel there, this destigmatized the whole topic of UFOs and UAPs to the military pilot. And the side of this that I don't have firsthand information about is the civilian side of things. So apparently the FAA and other governing bodies also released something similar to the civilian side of the world, and the pilots on that side of things. I don't know much about that. That is something that, I've never worked in the civilian sector when it came to aviation, so I can't really speak on that. Jake does actually right now work in the civilian sector. So I'd be curious to see if there was anything that he could add to this conversation, because I don't know off the top of my head whether or not he can. We'll talk to him on Sunday during our live then and see if there is anything that he can add to that. But for now, I can't specifically say yes for a fact the civilian side is doing their part as well. But I can tell you that at least from the Navy, in multiple squadrons that I was in, they are doing their part. They are filling out these reports, and ATIP was the reason behind it. So what do we expect from this on Saturday? Sorry, I just got a text from Kenzar. So I don't know what to expect. I don't know. What I can say is that there are a lot of sources on social media that are saying that this is going to be really big news. Is it credible? I'd like to think it is. But we've been duped a lot, right? We have been made to think that something big is going to happen, only for the rug to be pulled out from underneath us and for us to be served a pile of shit. Let's be honest about it. That's happened multiple times. Is that going to happen this time? I don't know. This feels different. It does. I hope it's different. I hope that we get something really good. I know for a fact I'll be watching it. We should be talking about this again Sunday night for the live episode of Infinite Rabbit Hole with Jake and Jeff and myself. So we will be giving updates. This is more or less to give you sort of like a heads up, like, hey, there's some big stuff coming on. But moving past that, we do have some other things that we do need to talk about today. I'll head to the chat here in a little bit once I'm done putting everything out there and answer any questions that you guys may have. Hang tight at the end for an announcement. I do have an announcement on the future of Infinite Rabbit Hole. Not necessarily Infinite Rabbit Hole per se, but something attached to it at least, for those that are listening live. But until then, let's go ahead and jump into the next bit. And this is about Jeremy Corbell's warning. And for those tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists out there, this is the one for you. Filmmaker and ufologist Jeremy Corbell has recently come out with some very interesting claims that have fueled the fires of the Project Bluebeam conspiracy that has hung over our heads the better part of the last couple decades. His claim: an enormous alien spacecraft is heading to Earth, and it will be here in 2027. Or at least, that is what he is telling you that our government is getting ready to tell us. Corbell warns that this is a lie, and that it is coming sooner than you think. They, whoever they are, want you to believe that. Corbell claims that there is a document from the 1970s that gave birth to this lie, and that he is well aware of this, and that every single source he has is saying that this is not speculation, but rather it is imminent. These statements have also been accompanied by indirect claims that there are many planted personnel in the field of ufology that are there to spread disinformation, and that many of them are there to push the agenda of the coming alien ship by first presenting quote-unquote evidence of other cases of UFOs to help break the public into the reality of their existence, therefore making it easier for the deception. But why? Well, as Project Bluebeam has claimed, this is all for the sake of the creation of the one world government, and in some cases, a one world religion. One overreaching authority to control the masses that will be achieved by giving us all a common enemy that we can all band together and defeat, but not without the help of those that govern us, ultimately making themselves gods of sorts to the sheep that believe their lies. Corbell has crashed onto the UFO scene after witnessing what InterviewMagazine.com quotes him describing, quote, 3 mysterious orbs zipping around the night sky like cocaine-crazed hummingbirds looking for something to kill. Since then, he has been the mind behind the highly acclaimed documentary Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers, and has been a loud voice in the UFO disclosure community since. So, if for some reason you do not know who Jeremy Corbell is, if you go back and watch any of the past congressional hearings, especially I believe the one in 2021 he was a part of, he's also been a part of a lot of documentation, a lot of articles and videos about disclosure of UFOs, UAPs, and the mess, right? Highly, highly recommend at least understanding who Jeremy Corbell is. Is he credible? I don't know. It's tough to say, right? It's tough to say if anybody's credible, but he's putting information out there, and it's not information that makes people comfortable, which personally lends me to believe that he has something worth listening to. You're going to have to be your own judge on that one, and take things with a grain of salt until you do or do not trust him. But with that being said, let's move on to the next bit, and that's about Dr. Stephen Greer. Now, Dr. Stephen Greer has released the first 2 episodes of his new podcast just in time for the big reveal on News Nation tomorrow. This was done on purpose, of course, as mentioned by Greer on his 2nd episode, in which he talks heavily about Jake Barber and his video that will be released tomorrow. His claims in the very beginning of this episode is that there are multiple whistleblowers coming out immediately after Barber leads the way, essentially explaining that Barber will be the straw that breaks the proverbial camel's back that opens the floodgates of disclosure. Now, for you that want to listen to his podcast, you can check it out on Dr. Stephen Greer's YouTube channel by his name, Dr. Stephen Greer. Simple, right? All right, that's pretty much what I have. That's what I have scripted up. That's how I'm going to do these lunch breaks from now on. I'm going to do a little bit of research before I jump in instead of just doing a dive into social media, which we're about to go do here in a minute. In the meantime, if you're in the chat, go ahead and let us know that you're here. Say hi, ask some questions, or if you have a point of view to share about this whole thing, now is the time. I'll read it out. Until then, let's get going. We have a first time chatter, Mistress of Muggles. Hi, how are you? I actually know her. Thank you for coming. I appreciate the support. All right, let's see here. I do have a couple clips already bookmarked for us to check out. So let me get to the sharing screen here. This first bit is a clip from tomorrow's TV special on News Nation with Jake talking about the egg-shaped craft that he recovered during his time in the military.
Just visually looking at the object on the ground, you could tell that it was extraordinary and anomalous. It was not human.
How close did you get?
Well, I was a helicopter pilot, and I operate with 150 foot to 200 foot long line. So I got within 150 feet of this object.
What did you see?
I saw an egg, a white egg.
Was there any visible propulsion system on it?
No, not what we would know. There's no engine. There was no thermal signature. I was operating at night when I finally came in to pick it up. So I'm working under night vision goggles at the time. And it was quite clear. I flipped them up, flipped them down, and looked at it a couple of different ways.
How did you know that that egg-shaped object was non-human in origin?
Well, visually, after seeing all kinds of things in my past, it was clearly something that was ridiculously looking. It's inconsistent with anything I'd ever seen before. I can also tell you that the reaction by my team, we all knew we were dealing with something extraordinary.
And at no stage were you ever subsequently told that the craft was of non-human origin?
I will tell you that during this process over the last couple of years, it's been confirmed to me by ranking members of the UAP task force that what we were working with that night was in fact NHI, and it was not a unique experience.
All right. For those of you that are unfamiliar, NHI stands for non-human intelligence. Basically his way of saying that this was some sort of alien technology. Now, the next clip that I have is of Jeremy Corbell talking about what is to come. Let's go ahead and check that out real quick.
Your government now wants you to know one truth, and that truth is that UFOs are real. They've already done told you. Sometimes when you want somebody to know a truth, it's so you can set them up to believe a lie. And that's coming. I have zero doubt. That lie is coming.
What is the lie?
Specifically, you want me to say it right now? For real? Real? On camera? To be put in the show?
Yes.
Okay. Problem with that. If we tell the lie before it's told, they can adapt. That wouldn't be wise. I'll tell you privately, but I would really think about if you want to put this in your show. For real. That's a real thing I'm telling you. So will you think about it before putting it in your show?
Absolutely.
Okay. So UFOs are real, and they've been here a long time, and that's the truth. But the lie is coming. All indications, like all of them, is that that lie is going to be that there is a craft slowly making its way to us here on Earth. And that is the lie they're going to want you to believe. It's nuanced, how they explain that, the nature of that threat. But that 100% is the lie you are going to be told. You even got a date. People have been whispering a date for a long time now. I know where that lie comes from. I know specifically what document from the 70s initiated the idea of that lie. A classified document. That is the lie you will be told. You're going to be told that there is a craft on its way to Earth. That's the lie. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I sent you 2 texts today with a year. Not from me. Nope. I'm not going to propagate that lie. Not going to be part of it. Not going to say it to the camera. Everybody knows. Just start paying attention. And they'll change the date, especially if they see this. Things will change. Because maybe I'm trustworthy. Maybe I'm worthy of your trust. Maybe I've told you the truth the whole way through it. Now you can verify it. If that's the case, then I'm fucking dangerous. You've been told the truth about UFOs for a long time now. It's been pretty orchestrated. It's been pretty clear. And it's using people that are telling the truth and want to tell the truth. Ultimately, they want you to know something. They want you to know UFOs are real. Thank God we're finally there. We're all there now. They want you to know the truth. But why they want you to know that truth now? Hope I'm wrong, but it's terrifying. Think about it. Maybe it's good to get ahead of it. Call it out now before they do it. I'll be called crazy. That's okay.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
New Year, same extra value meals at McDonald's. So now get 2 snack wraps, plus fries, and a medium soft drink for just $8.
For limited time only, prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Hawaii, Alaska, and California, and for delivery.
All right, so interesting. Let's see the chat. We had one chatter. Skeeter, this kind of sounds like the 3-body problem. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the 3-body problem, it is the first book in a series by Chinese author Cixin Yu. The series itself is called The Remembrance of Earth's Past. The first book is the 3-body problem. Second book is The Dark Forest. The third book, it's called, I believe it's called The Redemption of Time. That's either the third one or the fourth one. Because they created a fourth one by a different author to extend the story, and it's terrible. If you end up reading that series, don't bother with the fourth one. It's not very good. But the first 3 are just amazing. It's called Death's End. Death's End is the third one. Redemption of Time is the fourth one. Very, very, very good series. And when Skeeter says this kind of sounds like 3-body problem, what he's referring to is that in 3-body problem, there are, at least in the book, because there is a Netflix adaptation TV series, and they just got extended for another 2 seasons, by the way, which is it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not the book. The book is way, way better. But the alien species called the Trisolarans in the book, they're called something different in the show, will take about 400 years to get to planet Earth. And the entire time, us as a civilization are getting ready to combat these alien beings. And it's phenomenal. The entire story spans the entire 400 years. Very, very good. Highly, highly recommended. One of my absolute favorite book series that I've ever read in my life. But besides that, we do have some scary stuff going on, right? Let's see. Let's head on over to X. We've been doing this for a little over 30 minutes already. Let's see what X has to say. Last time that I cruised through X without combing through it first, we saw a woman get hit by a car, and I don't want to have you guys see that again, but this looks pretty neat. Let's go ahead and check this out. I don't know how true this is. This is a pyramid UFO over Canada. This was posted 6 hours ago by UFO Mania. That's interesting. All right. I apologize if anybody sees another person gets hit by a car. That was awkward. See, this is so weird. This was a weird one. This is okay.
Publicly, what is it that you explain was the context with this? As in, you received an order from someone at some point that said you got to shoot this NHI, and
I feel really
NHI again, non-human intelligence. Okay.
comfortable talking about this because this is a credibility destroyer, in my opinion, and it really bothers me that
And
you're
I don't
talking
like
about it,
talking
and I
about
don't want to be connected to it.
It's going to bring
shape or
back.
form.
well, actually,
And I've already told them that.
all right. So
if
hold
you're
on.
going to make those claims, I'm walking out the door.
No, I'm not.
I'm sorry.
I have to tell you,
it's already bad enough.
yeah, because right now we're treading a line where
What were
So that's interesting. Apparently on this podcast, somebody is asked about their run-in with NHIs, and they threaten to leave, or their producer threatens to leave if they're told, or if they tell what they know. It says UFO opening Stargate portal in the sky again in Canada. Interesting. Bob Lazar.
That's intelligent that we know about. And we actually have artifacts from that. The science and the technology can change us dramatically, can change the way the entire world operates, the economy, everything.
and we have it.
Oh, we have them. You don't have to believe it, but we do. For instance, the propulsion of the craft. Everything that we have, whether it's a propeller plane or a jet or a rocket, it throws something out the back, either high-speed exhaust or a large volume of air. This is the first time there's a craft it's a reactionless craft. It's a field propulsion craft. And what it does is it creates a distortion in space and time in front of it, where space actually bends. I've dismantled it. The big thing is the suppression of extremely advanced technology and the suppression of unknown science.
So for those that don't know who Bob Lazar is one of the OG whistleblowers of Area 51. He was a contractor that worked at the facility, and he has come forward many times actually, and has talked about some of the reverse engineering projects that he has taken part in, dismantling alien craft that, as you heard him say there in that little clip, used gravitational distortion technology instead of our standard earthly turbine propulsion, which pushes an exhaust. Now, with this video that's going to be released on News Nation tomorrow, this egg-shaped craft was also seen not expelling any exhaust. So that's where a lot of UFOs, UAPs become interesting, when they're able to move in such a way, or even just move at all, hovering in a space and not have any exhaust whatsoever. They're not expelling anything. They're not expelling energy. Now, the whole way that our current exhaust system, or our current propulsion system works, is on a basically the layman way of putting it. There's a fun way of remembering it. It's called suck, squeeze, bang, blow. Okay, and the way that these turbine engines work is that it sucks in air. It's and through the intake, it squeezes it in the the compression section. It bangs it in the combustion section, and it blows it out the exhaust. Suck, squeeze, bang, blow. That is how we get propulsion on our aircraft. That does not happen with these UAPs. Doesn't happen. There is no exhaust. There is no thermal signature to it whatsoever. In fact, when we're looking at white hot, we're seeing things in black. When we're looking at black hot, we're looking at things in white. And for those of you that don't understand the terminology between white hot and black hot in technologies such as FLIR or forward-looking infrared, you have different settings that you could use. You have black hot and white hot, and basically you get to choose how you want temperatures to be shown to you in the technology that you're using. So if you want to look at things and you're like, I want to see hot things as white, right? Which is a very common thing because it makes things pop up against a cold black background. Others like the inverse of that, where they like to see cold black, where something that is cold pops up against, or something that is hot pops up white. No, sorry. Cold black and white, cold white. Cold white, I'm messing this up, guys, sorry. Cold white will have a black heat signature in front of a cold white background, which is how you would normally see like a person's body signature. Okay. Typically one of these combustion engine aircraft that, you know, we as humans typically use, helicopters and fixed wing aircraft, will show up in whatever we choose to be our hot or cold color. We're not seeing that with these. We're seeing these show up as the cold color in whatever setting that we have, which says that we're not getting that suck, squeeze, bang, blow. This is technology that is foreign to anything that we know. And from what Bob Lazar puts out, this is due to anti-gravitical technology, anti-gravity. Basically manipulation of the gravity that surrounds the craft. Well, that is pretty much all I have today, guys. I don't have anything from the chat right now. If you guys do have questions, I have one more announcement to put out about Infinite Rabbit Hole. If you guys wanted to hear more about UFOs, unfortunately, there's not much else. A lot of people are going to be talking about this. A lot of podcasts are going to be talking about this. Everyone is talking about this on social media. There's plenty of sources for you to get information, but I'm telling you right now, I summarized it all up for you today. There's nothing new at this point. Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Time, during our normally scheduled recording time of Infinite Rabbit Hole, we will have more. Okay, once this video goes live and the world has seen it, and some more of these whistleblowers have come out, which is what's supposed to happen, we'll have more to talk about. But in other news regarding Infinite Rabbit Hole, we will be changing up the format a little bit, which should not be recognizable to most listeners. We are going to be forfeiting up the documentary type series, period. It's not going to happen anymore on Infinite Rabbit Hole. For a long time, Infinite Rabbit Hole has tried to create a marriage between the documentary type episodes and the conversation type episodes. And I mean, we've been doing this for 4.5 years, and feedback after feedback after feedback we get, it seems that there is a split on whether or not people like the documentary episodes or they like the conversation based episodes. So I myself have been working towards writing a few books. And I also have this want to create a professional sounding project. So I am going to segregate the conversation style Infinite Rabbit Hole episodes from the solo documentary episodes. And I am going to take 100% responsibility and control over the solo documentary episodes on a completely different podcast. They will be released in episodes grouped of 10 per season. So that podcast will be seasonal based. I don't know when the first episode will drop. I don't know what the topics will be yet. There will be a Patreon associated with that. I am shutting down the new Patreon exclusive episodes for Infinite Rabbit Hole. We did not get the support we were looking for when we opened it. It was kind of like the last ditch effort to try to make something work on the front of the Infinite Rabbit Hole for our documentary style episodes. We tried multiple ways to try to make this work without creating a whole new entity. But ultimately this is going to create far less work for Infinite Rabbit Hole itself, because Jake and Jeff have lives themselves, and it's not fair on them for me to push my wants, my goals onto them. And this gives me an opportunity to go ahead and push forward into my own interests, my own loves, and my own goals with Infinite Rabbit Hole, or with my own projects. I will also be looking to publish books to go along with each season of this new podcast. So as these episodes come out, which will be very reflective of the old solo documentary episodes of Infinite Rabbit Hole, a couple examples for you if you want to listen to them and see what the new format will be like. Injured Cold's remaster episode, the Aquatic Ape Theory. Let's see. The Dancing Plague, the Screen Memories, the Aliens, Owls, and UFOs episode. If you listen to those, where it's 100% just me telling you every piece of information about it in a nice, smooth documentary style episode, that is what the new podcast will be about. Don't have a name for it yet. I'm in the very early plannings of said podcast, but hang tight. There will be more information coming soon as I get things figured out. And I'm very much excited about this. But this opens up Infinite Rabbit Hole for some really interesting conversations coming forward. This opens us wide open for guests. We're going to try to push for bigger names, people with some real knowledge in some things. Try to do some collaborations with other podcasts. This should be good for us. Very, very good for Infinite Rabbit Hole. And I get to stretch my creative legs a little bit and enjoy, the professional side of these things, instead of, doing what Infinite Rabbit Hole has become, which is, let's be honest, it's a fun project. It is. It's become a fun conversation about fun topics with fun people. But there is a strong part of me that wants to be taken seriously as a researcher and documentarian of all of these amazing subjects that I love so much. And that is the goal of the new podcast, is to help me in that endeavor, as well as becoming an author and somebody who can be relied on for some really good information. Now, in order to do that, I can't necessarily go on every episode and drop F-bombs and, do what I do on Infinite Rabbit Hole. So I have to prove and show that I can have a professional side, a very smart, knowledgeable side to me. And that's pretty much it. Hope you guys will come along for the ride. I know that there's a lot of people who have listened to the Infinite Rabbit Hole that have reached out and said that they won't listen to the conversation-based episodes because they only like the ones that are documentary based. And then there's also people that have reached out and said that they don't like the documentary podcast episodes because they're boring and they want that really good conversation and that good laugh that comes along with these conversation based episodes. So this way there will be a clear division between the two types of episodes because there will be a clear division between two different podcasts. Both of them will still be produced, edited, and put out, distributed by myself. Will still be done right here at Infinite Rabbit Hole Studios, right here in the basement of my home. And both of them will always be veteran run because that's who I am. But until next time, travelers, until Sunday, I'll see you right here in the next fork in the path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Bye, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. If you're looking for more of our stuff, head on over to infiniterabbithole.com, where you can find links to all the podcast players that we are available on, and even our video platforms such as TikTok and YouTube. While you're there, make sure to check out all the links for our socials and hit that follow so you know when all the new stuff from our podcast comes out. And until next time, travelers, we'll see you right here in the next fork in the path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Goodbye.